Well, hello, hello, hello to the cafe. And I already ran out of my beverage. Would you believe it or cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to the working mom's world. And today we are going to be talking about how to get your ideas out to the world. And after the pandemic, I noticed that a lot of folks took to the internet, which exploded many companies. I mean, it created an opportunity like we've never seen before. And I also noticed it created a boldness. And it is my belief that it came from the stress that was imposed upon all of us to recreate our new world. And as one of my mentors say, not to be intimidated by our lack of resources, but it's about our resourcefulness in the time of need. And that stuck with me. And I was so proud to see some of the women that I'm so connected with really take to the internet and share their message to the world. A lot of folks weren't worried about, I guess, product production quality and how they looked. It was like, yeah, here's my story. If this encouraged someone, share it. And I got inspiration from those timid women, which is why I'm so passionate about the community I have here with the moms. Because for me, the pandemic wasn't the opportunity to get online, it was the opportunity to kind of crawl into a hole because I found that I was pregnant and being told that I would never be pregnant. This was mind blowing for me. So the world changed, my world changed, and I'm sure there's a lot of moms out there whose world completely changed during that pandemic as well. So when we talk about getting our ideas out to the world, now we have amazing platforms to do so. And Tanya Barlini is here with me today, officially TEDx speaker. And she was one of those brave women that I found inspiration in during the pandemic and also coming out of the pandemic as well because of her business coaching program. It's one of the reasons why I'm able to bring this amazing content to you because in the community of women who are trying to run their business and be mom, I found strength and courage. And by her bringing her message to the world, I'm sure you will find strength and courage as well. So I'll let Tanya share a little bit about that journey for us because I know we hear all this, oh, get to the TEDx. I mean, TEDx is one way, but I'll let her share how she got there.
Thanks, Glow. Well, you brought up a great point about the pandemic and how it changed a lot of people. I think one of the best things that came out of it is that it humanized everyone in business, right? So, because we had to do all of these meetings on Zoom in our own homes and
Mm,
everybody was there, right? Kids were coming in and bombing Zoom meetings. There were animals that were coming in, people's pets. And you saw all this news about attorneys and other professionals who stood up and weren't wearing, pants.
yeah.
That's that. I think it humanized everyone. So I was one of the people that just got a lot of courage and just got online and started posting videos without re-looking at them, without makeup, with hair frizzy, with whatever it was, just to try to alleviate some of the panic, to try
Mhm.
to calm people down, because everywhere you looked, it was fear, 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 right? And I felt like I had this calling to just be a little beacon of calmness, a little beacon of light in the midst of all of this, and seeing all of these other things that were happening on Zoom gave me the courage to say, you know what? I don't have to be perfect. People are not going to care whether I have full makeup and coiffed hair or not. All they care about is the message that I'm sending out and what it means to them. And so that, I believe, was the first step to me getting on TEDx. Is just having that courage to get up there and talk about your message and get your ego out of it. Because it's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about the speaker. It's about having a message that's going to help someone somewhere. Right? And we cannot be so vain as to believe that they're only going to hear it if we're ready, right? If we're perfect and ready to talk. No, we have to be there for others, not to make ourselves look better. Right? And so once we start thinking that way, we stop worrying about, what do I look like? How am I speaking? I can't say, that's going to be wrong. Right? So once you take your ego out of it and you concentrate on the good that the message can, the potential that your message has, that's when you start becoming a better speaker. Right? Because you start getting more relaxed. You're not worried about who you are. You're worried about making sure that your message comes across. You're worried about someone who needs to hear it actually getting it in time and not when you're ready.
Yes.
Right. Absolutely. So I think that was the biggest thing. And then from there, I just started doing speaking engagements. I started anywhere I could. If I could bring a message of value, whether it was about business, whether it was about mindset, whether it was about being a mom, whatever it was, if it was something that I could bring some value to people, I would sign up and speak about it. And eventually it got to the point where I was invited to apply for a TEDx talk. And I did, and I got it, and I practiced, and that was the most practice I had ever done. But that's how you start. Getting your message out there is not that difficult. It does not have to be complicated. It is not about you. It is about helping someone else.
Absolutely. Well, you brought up a lot of things that had me recall some of the opportunities I've had in my professional career too. And for me, it was finding my way in Toastmasters. I had a client of mine say, she said, Glo, I think you're so smart and brilliant, but sometimes when you open your mouth, you mumble and it make you sound unprofessional. And I still struggle with those thoughts in my head. And I'm sure if I told her to this day, that was back in 2013 when I joined Toastmasters, I'm sure she would laugh because I don't think she realized the impact she had on my life. But it brings me into what I would like to share with folks listening. If you have a message to the world, if you are willing to embrace your own creativity, and if you can get a hold of Tanya's TEDx talk, I will post it in the chat underneath. But she talks about marching to the beat of your own drum. All right. Number one, embrace your own creativity. Number two, seek feedback. One of, my top inspirational book says, in the multitude of counselors, wisdom is found. Meaning, get feedback. And not every feedback. I think we did a video on that as well. I'll see if I can find the link and post it in here. But we talked about finding people who value what you and your life mission is. And you will know them by their fruit. If they are telling you, oh, don't make that YouTube video, oh, don't record that, and they can't provide a reason to improve why they are saying not to make that, you just check that box and walk away. It doesn't matter if you were involved with direct sales. It doesn't matter. Your message has meaning, and whatever vehicle you choose to bring it to the world, that's between you and your higher power, right? It doesn't matter. You find someone who is going to pour into that vision and mission. True feedback is not someone just telling you, I don't like this. Oh, that's bad. Oh, your video quality is okay. If you're telling me these things, how can I make it better? Right? Give me solutions. Don't just spew on me your personal agenda or your own insecurities, which we talked about already. Um, People, they become fearful, and unfortunately it's the ones who are closest to us, because things are getting uncomfortable or it's changing or they're fearful of the change they may experience as a result of. It's kind of like the folks who win the lotto and they have to reinvent their entire life. Sometimes I wonder if it's a blessing or a curse, because at one point when I thought about winning the lotto, I was like, oh man, I'll just quit my job. But now that I've lived a little, I realized it's a lot more than just quitting my job that would occur. I would have to probably write a few checks to get some family members off of my back. But I'll really write the check because I love them. I have a great family, fortunately, on both sides, you know, being married, in-laws, our parents love us. I would say we're in the position where they love us too much, if there's a position to take, right? But let me get back to the three main things, because I already talked about embracing your own creativity, getting feedback, and one, taking action. Plan your execution strategy. This is going to be the biggest mountain you face. This is going to be the biggest decision you have to make, to get up out of your bed and do it. And then wake up the next day and guess what? And do it. And then when you don't feel like doing it, then do it. For the folks who just joined us, welcome, welcome, welcome. Because we are talking about how to get your ideas out to the world. And this is the space for the working moms. Free conversation where you can let your guard down. And we hope to share some nuggets that you can walk away, if you're listening to this, and go and apply them and take massive action. My favorite quote is dream big and act on it daily. I was listening to a TEDx. I'm going to stop because Tanya, you look like you want to say something. Because I know what's going on. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to come back to the feedback because, yes, we talked about it before, but I think it's worth mentioning again.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to give you feedback, right? Mm-hmm. You can go in front of 10 people and you will get 10 different ideas, 10
Mm-hmm.
different solutions, 10 different things that you need to do differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as it resonates and aligns with you, then do it. If it does not resonate or align with you, then don't do it. You don't have to do everything everyone says, even if they're quote unquote experts, right? At the end of the day, being authentic is what matters most. That doesn't mean don't learn new skills, don't, strengthen the skills that you have because it doesn't align with you. That's not what I'm talking about. You have to be uncomfortable to grow. Yes. Right? You're gonna be uncomfortable when you implement new things. But it's a matter of, are you uncomfortable because it's new, or are you uncomfortable because it doesn't align with who you are and your values? So that's something that you really need to take the time to look inwardly and analyze before you start doing other things. Because none of us are broken. There's nothing wrong with any of us. but we all have room to be better.
Yeah, and we could also learn from each other's mistakes. Talk about shortening your learning curve. This is why it's so effective to hire coaches and mentors and get yourself around experienced people willing to share their wisdom and knowledge with you. Because your insecurities may just be fears because you haven't been down that road before, right? Not necessarily because you're not good enough to do it. And if you listen to enough speakers and coaches, they will tell you themselves, if they're honest, there are times, and maybe still the present times, they're still sweating a little bit before they go on the stage. And even with people that they're familiar with, it's just built into our being, some of us, just to be nervous. They said, what, speaking is, people are more afraid of speaking than death.
There's nothing wrong with being nervous.
No, I don't think so. I think those are great indicators that you're still alive.
Yes, exactly.
Well, if anyone listening want to chime in on the conversation, I always tell people this isn't the Glow Show. This is about us moms pulling our heads together. And like Tanya said, you're the community where people can encourage and empower you to get your message out to the world, because no one is like you. We are all uniquely made. And it doesn't matter your industry or business model, unless it violates the law.
Yes.
In our culture, I need to put that disclaimer, because if it's not family friendly, this is probably not the platform for you. Okay. But if we're talking about how do you just survive getting the kids ready for school and trying to get to work and get to your meetings and function. I was speaking with someone earlier today, and she was mentioning a few things about women, that we function a certain way during certain times. I was like, oh my goodness, that's a bit much for me. That's a whole nother conversation. But when it comes to getting our message out, I think it's important to understand the power we have as individuals, being uniquely made, but also having the ability to put all of our ideas together and recreate and co-create, right? Animals can't do that. Even if the lion pride is a huge number of lions, they don't recreate. It's just, hey, you kill the zebra, we'll grab the zebra, you make some big, you know what I mean? They're very mechanical. I may not be using the right scientific terms, but you put a group of females together, right? We are like, girl, your hair look better like this. Your glasses. We come up with a different look. We come up with a different idea. We come up with a better idea for the right group. I mean, we could do so many things together, even from a marketing perspective, right? Some folks ask me, like, what is this platform really about? And being a professional in the marketing industry, having experience, worked for agencies and served on corporate boards, bringing products to life, ideas to life. I love it. But it is expensive, man. You can really break your budget marketing. But how powerful is that word of mouth referral? How powerful is that network of going into a platform where you know someone who knows someone, and you could feel confident and pick up the phone? Unlike a Facebook group, even if my best friend connected me with someone, because of algorithms, I gotta justify not getting blocked. And I'm like, we just got off the phone. Now my account is frozen, right? How frustrating, right? So getting your message out to the world here, we highlight moms, and we don't charge you to create videos and snippets. We don't charge you to come on our show or podcast, however you want to term it, right? Come on here, let us know your ideas and what you bring to the community. And today we're talking about sharing your ideas with the world. I personally, at this time, like YouTube, and I like it because I can share ideas. I can be myself. If you're bringing value, I don't think you should be fearful of algorithms and all this stuff. What value are you bringing? I mean, are you trying to encourage people to do violent things? If that's if you think that's valuable, okay, come on, man, right? Because I always, so I know some people who say they are activists for certain things. Let me give you another practical example, right? I was on a committee and we were going to protest against poor water quality in our community, right? And I went down to the city building, and we were holding flags, and we were on the side of the street. We were on the building property, but not at their front doors, right? But we held signs letting them know water quality is bad. Please improve our water. Okay. Now, it'd been different if we were trying to stop people from getting in the building. I mean, like, really, how much power do some humans even have? Like, a lot of them, they're really just doing their job and want their paycheck. For the most part, most people go to work. They're not entrepreneurs at all. They are grateful. They are so happy being employees. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs, not so much after the pandemic, but before the pandemic, not entrepreneurs, sorry. Yes, entrepreneurs. I see a lot of them kind of put people down like, oh, you should have your own business. Having your own business, even if you're doing it for a season, it takes work. It will drain you if you're not in the right community. It will drain you if you don't have the right mindset. And if you plan to be present for your family and present for your business, you have to make a great effort. And I mean, you have to be very intentional about the people you surround yourself with. Because if you can't bring your authentic self and find a way to be present and enjoy who you are on the way to where you're going, what value is that? It's not worth it.
No, you're right. Sorry to interrupt you, but
no, go.
Yes, this is having your own business is not for everyone, and that's okay. Right? There's nothing wrong with working for someone else. There's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5 and getting a paycheck, or working the night shift and getting a paycheck, whatever it is, right? But if you want to be an entrepreneur and if you want to have your own business, what you're saying is so important, because it is hard and it is draining and it's a lot of work. And a lot of times you feel so alone because there aren't a lot of people who do it. And especially if you're a mompreneur, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely difficult because now you have 3 jobs. It's not just being a mom and having your own business. It's a full-time job as being a mom, a full-time job as being your own business owner, and a full-time job in every single other aspect of your business. So it could add up to like 10 different jobs at the same time, right? So if you don't have a supportive community, if you don't have people who have been there, done that, who can help you through it, instead of having that fear-based brain of, this is unknown to me, so you shouldn't be doing it. Why are you killing yourself? Go get a job like everybody else. Don't worry, you're not going to be successful, right? The odds are stacked against you. But if you do find a supportive community, then you can really go far and you can really get everything that you want and be your own boss. And it won't kill you. It will actually help you become better. It'll help you serve more people. It'll help you be more fulfilled and happy, right? And it's that collective. I'm reading How Successful People Think by John Maxwell right now.
Yes.
Right. One of the chapters is on the collective thinking and how 2 brains are better than one, not because I give you a new idea, you give me a new idea, but because of those 2 ideas, we can create even more ideas. And one of the things that really struck me was when he said, if you get 1 horse to pull a buggy, they have only so much power.
Mm-hmm.
If you put two horses together to pull that same buggy,
Mm-hmm.
the power that they have is higher than adding both of their strengths together,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it exponentially strengthens them. And it's the same thing with collective ideas. It exponentially creates more better ideas. So that's why we're always asking people who come into this cafe to talk, share your ideas with us, right?
Yeah,
Let's
this is not
all,
a spectator sport.
yes. And it's okay if you don't want to, right? We're not here to strong arm you into talking, but we do appreciate your thoughts and we want you to know that. And if you have them, just speak.
Mm-hmm. Because you know the thing about bringing your ideas to the world, I think a lot of folks are concerned about what platform. And I noticed I would go to my Toastmasters meeting and I would hear someone speak, and it would be the person who kind of like came and watched the meeting. And when I hear them speak, I'm like, oh my gosh, where do you work? What do you do? And it's amazing how all of us have these great tools within us. Unfortunately, even criminals, like people who are considered criminals, you get into circles and there's lots of opportunities and organizations. There's even Toastmasters in prisons too, that builds a platform where you can get out there and share your message with the world. Because the funny thing is, to become successful, if you want to share your ideas with the world, you have to embrace your authentic self. You still have to get the feedback and you still have to take action. And guess what? Repeat. It doesn't, like, once you hit success, it's not like, whew, here we go. Let me just relax. No. And as a matter of fact, it gets more and more intense because now you have to make decisions that's going to affect all of your staff, your business, the trajectory of your business. So bringing your message to the world is not just a business idea you want to bring to your business, because you have to have a message to cultivate the environment of your team. Because you have to have a team. If you're going to be in business, you're going to have build relationships with people who trust. You're going to have to delegate different tasks to them. So this whole idea of bringing your ideas and cultivating your ideas, this is just the beginning, ladies. And if you're a mom, one of my other mentors talked about women being incubators, right? He said, if you, like, men come with the men bring the tools and the women kind of like put it in an incubator and produce certain things. And he said, the men bring the sperm, the women incubate the sperm with the eggs and produce a baby, right? And when you look at the way we are kind of wired, right? We want to nurture and make stuff, and it's just in our being to want to make things come together in harmony, right? And the one thing I like too, as the world kind of becomes more aware of the feminine energy, is, I guess it's called, you probably could speak more to that, Tanya, but just balancing, right? Balancing, like, you don't have to be overbearing to get stuff done. You don't have to bulldoze and be like, I'm gonna speak and I'm gonna get my idea out. You could bring that soft, authentic you to the platform, and people are gonna resonate with that, because, as Tanya said, it's about the collective. It's about harnessing and having the strength, of those two horses pulling the cart to go further, faster, right? And in the day of AI, man, I don't know how much more fast technology can go, but it is moving.
Yes. And if you are a bulldog, that's okay too. Right? Like, it's like Glo said about the balance and being your authentic self. And every single one of us has feminine and masculine energies, right? You have one side of your brain is creative, one side of your brain is logical. If you're not using both, you're only living with half a brain. Do you really want to do that? Honestly.
Well, I was gonna make a statement, but I would probably have to put a disclaimer on that. Sometimes with my kid, I feel like I maybe have a third of my brain because I got to give a little bit to each one of them, and then a little bit to my husband, and then I don't really get much left over for myself. But again, it's conversations and communities such as this where I do realize the importance of self-care. And ladies, I'm telling you, the greatest legacy you can leave is leaving your message with the world. I don't care what platform it is. If you want to work on doing some things on YouTube and LinkedIn, you can contact me. That's where I'm going. That's what I've been doing and working on behind the scenes. And one thing I noticed that keeps coming up for a lot of the folks that I follow, it was like a 10-year span at least before they actually hit a peak in their pursuits. And I noticed I started in 2012, and I noticed, where are we right now? You guys are marking this. I'm in 2024. And this is when I'm finally getting the self-actualization of, man, who am I? Who is Glow? Right? Who is Glow being? And I feel a little embarrassed sometimes because some folks who knew me in my past, they said, oh my God, Glow, you are so good at everything. My friend, she's like, man, if you want this, Glow will do this. And I want to be like, no, don't say that. I don't, I enjoy doing a lot of stuff. And I also don't enjoy being pulled in a million directions. And one thing having kids taught me is I only have so much capacity. And I did a speech on this a couple weeks ago. I said, capacity is my enemy and delegation has become my friend. I mean, my 3-year-old, he's excited about putting dirty dishes in the dishwasher. Man, I delegate that to him. Now I'm aware that some dishes may be broken in the process, but you know what? It's something I did not have to do. And Tanya has a really cool video about making peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I was like, man, how complicated can it be? But I think we need to find that video, post it. Is that Chandel?
I've been here listening to you guys chit-chatting, talking up the topics, and yeah, it's it's easier for me to call in because there's a code for me to call in. But
yeah, we can hear you.
But what I wanted to say was my authentic self is that it is detrimental to work for others. You want to definitely make sure that you are looking at the vision and the mission of any corporation you choose to give your time to. Number one. Number two, in regards to entrepreneurship, it's a personal development journey. If you really want to get to know yourself, you want to up-level in a really quick way, I would say entrepreneur is one of the ways you'll definitely learn more about yourself and, your abilities and what you're capable of. And also in regards to, women specifically in the workforce or just having a business, and it's good for us to work with our cycles, our moon cycles. Women are not like men, and so women work with rhythms. And so if you want to really do well at your meeting and possibly, score that deal, you definitely want to do during your ovulation time, for example. So women can be more potent if they pay attention to their cycle. Tengo que romper un pie. Espérate un segundo. So those are just some things I wanted to bring up because as you guys were talking, I had heard some things. I definitely am not saying that it's not good to work for other people, but sometimes you can just see a number depending on who you're working for, And so they're more willing to cut you out versus if you work for a local business, there's a lot of corporations. So definitely want to do your due diligence on interviewing those people that you're wanting to work for because you're going to be essentially working for their dream, their mission. But I
Well,
chose to
if
become an
you think
entrepreneur.
about getting your
Go ahead.
ideas out to the world, if you find a company that aligns with your
Exactly.
ideas, essentially you're a resource for that company and you're still getting your ideas out to the world. I think, at least from my observation, I can only speak for myself. When I was with companies that I could buy into their mission, vision, and purpose, I worked as though I owned the company. Now, maybe
Of course.
they had
Yeah.
bad management and the managers didn't see my efforts or acknowledge. I've experienced that as well, where upper level management, egos take place. Oh, it looks like you're trying to take over because you have good work ethic and you've bought into the mission, vision, and purpose of that company. I was bringing my ideas to life through the vehicle of that company. That's why it doesn't really matter which vehicle you choose. It could be network marketing, it could be entrepreneurship, it could be being a mom. Being a mom is a job, an invaluable job. And should you choose to be a mom and run your business, hey, more power to you. It takes a special person to do that. Some of the best advice I've had, because I was plugged into a group of a lot of homeschooling moms prior to even knowing I could have kids, right? I mean, they sent me shopping. I sponsored a 2-year-old for Christmas, and they sent me shopping for gifts for 2-year-olds. I was in Target for about 3 hours. I kid you not. Don't laugh too hard, guys. But the best advice, she had 7 kids. You know what she said to me? She said, if you ever have kids, don't get into your head that homeschooling is the holy grail, because it takes a special personality. You think about it, you're going to be around your kids all day. And if you would still have to have a routine for yourself. You still
Preaching
have
to
to
the choir over here,
find.
Missy.
But hey, I'm just saying. So sometimes this is why I don't knock folks. I say go where you can grow, but most importantly, where you are bringing your vision to the world. If it's in a corporation, great. If it's through network marketing, great. I mean, some of the best products and service I've ever experienced was through network marketing. I don't knock the industry. I just know from experience, you have to run that like a business. You have to pretend like that $1,500 kit or $35 kit or enrollment is just the same as if you had went and leased $100,000 building and paid for city licenses and done all of that. It takes the exact same work ethic to be successful, no matter which industry you choose. So I'm just trying to give some wisdom, especially to my moms who are maybe trying to reinvent themselves and make a comeback after the baby, because they were like me, can jump on a plane any day, go be gone for however long. Granted, you have a supportive spouse, right? But that was my world. Now I have kids. I need to schedule everything. Talk about discipline. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I felt like my kids was taking over my life. But again, wisdom and staying around the right folks with the right mindset, right? Because I can't expect to have what I don't work for. I think that's fair. If I want a balanced family life, I have to work for that. I have to invest in that. If I want a balanced business, gotta make some effort and invest in that. So ladies, if you are here, man, call me directly. My phone number is 561-285-7515. I'll return your call. I will return your call. Text me. I'll return your call, because I realize how vital this community is for someone. And they like to tag us with the postpartum depression, which is a whole nother subject. I'm like, I don't really want to say I have postpartum depression. I'm just lonely in the quality and content of conversation, because my husband can't understand what's actually happening in my other parts of my body after I had a baby. I'm sorry. I mean, you could try to describe it, but I don't think they will ever get it. or if no one's never done it or been through it, I don't think anyone could ever describe that whole situation, let alone, I don't know how ladies just go right back to work after 6 weeks, but to each his own. Again, I don't knock it. You got to do what you got to do, especially if it's only you, right? So we are coming up on our time, and I just want to make sure I see Linda is with us. Hey, Linda. Linda is from the Bahamas. Linda, I am putting you on the spot. I hope you have something to say, even if it's about your business, because Linda is one of the most entrepreneurial moms I know. And one other thing I could say about Linda, talk about inspiration. Oh my goodness. Linda is a shaker and mover and a big encouragement. I'm not going to say how old she is, but all I can tell you is life ends when you end it in your mind. Because Linda is on the move, man. Linda, say hi. Well, we'll post some links too for Linda in the chat. I don't think she can speak right now.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Okay, so I'm listening here and taking it all in. In fact, this morning, during the COVID well, let me introduce myself. So I'm Linda A. Duncombe from the Bahamas, but I live part-time in the US because of my daughter family and my precious granddaughter who's here.
Yes.
Yeah, so I come over to spend time with her, but I actually was in the hotel industry for over 32 years, and I worked for a number of franchise companies, like Sheraton, Malia, Wyndham, Marriott. So I have all of those companies' experience of working with them. And so because I was in the hotel, I was able to sell a number of different products and stuff and was very successful in sales. So I end up selling like Tupperware, even gold carrot bars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I sell a whole number of stuff. Presently, I'm involved with a company named Sizzle International that is out of Utah. I had the opportunity to go there last year, and I achieved the star level #1, master level. Yeah, and when I was there, I was totally surprised that I was really the only African American there amongst over 300 Amish people, as well as people from China and Europe and Australia. And I was like, where are the rest of the people? Yeah, but the company is very good health. They have health products that you can use daily. Yep.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
So Linda,
and listening to y'all, yeah, I agree with everything y'all saying because I went through motherhood and grandmotherhood because I took on the challenge of letting my granddaughter be schooled in the Bahamas, as well as I took on my son, who is now 27.
wow. So Linda, as far as getting your ideas out to the world, have you done anything unique to do that, or you just really found your home in the network marketing industry and you think that's where you're gonna let it play out for now?
Yes, that's what I'm going to do, play out, because I actually took on being a volunteer at the Red Cross. And because of that, I always have to be on call in case there's natural disaster and all that. And so I don't want to do too much stuff, but I still trying to do whatever I can. But I have not attempted to even put myself too much out into the world because most of my sales is done by word of mouth. Yep.
Well, definitely, I have someone, an AI expert, that'll be joining us in the near future. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at the opportunities of how you can get your message out to the world, even through your network marketing company. So, Tanya, do you have any final words for us before we close out?
Yeah, just start. Just do it, man. If you have a good message, just start disseminating it and saying it,
forget-
shouting from the rooftops.
From the rooftop, and then you reach out to us. Tanya will help you with your business development. I'll help you with your marketing. Linda will help you with your immune system and your health, and Chandel will help you with balancing your feminine energy and working in the optimal time periods that's right for women. So with that being said, I will close this out, guys. Remember, today's talk was on how to get your ideas out to the world, and also embrace your creativity, get feedback, and take massive action in spite of how you feel. All right, I'll leave y'all with that. And until next time, see you guys next week.
Bye.
Okay. Goodbye. Take care.